Skull and Bones, Ubisoft's very first quadruple A game. That's an absolute disaster.
Skull and Bones. This is Ubisoft's online pirate game, finally out after years of delays. Between the beta, the early access...
That animation was absolutely horrible.
Jumping into some of that, and now here at launch, we've been playing it, and my first impressions might confirm some of your suspicions. Skull and Bones, to me, doesn't feel like something worth $70 and a decade of waiting. They've been working on this game for so long, so many people worked on it, and if you were never really excited about this one,
I mean, the gameplay currently looks super exciting. I can't contain myself.
Think this video will convince you otherwise, but I like pirate games. I always want and advocate for more pirate games. We don't have enough of them. So I gave this one a shot. So what Ubisoft made here is a pretty straightforward live service pirate action game. It's designed to keep you grinding and playing and sailing and blasting and paying. And that's it.
It's bad at all of those things, except maybe paying. I mean, it's not really hard to add pay-to-win elements to a game, you know?
Really. There's always going to be a chunk of gamers that this just isn't the target audience for. Some people don't like live service games. What void does this fill, though? I'd say if you want something different...
Is that ship just turning in, you know, stationary position?
Then I guess Sea of Thieves, you're looking...
I mean, yeah, that's what I want to see in my pirate game. A crazy turning ship in a stationary position technology. Yeah, this seems about right.
For maybe like a kind of light, casual pirate ship action game, kind of like a very basic pirate World of Warships, maybe like a really rough bad comparison, but I'm gonna make it. That's what this is. I think it will find an audience because it's not a disaster. I
don't know. This looks like a complete disaster. Also, you're getting torched, and you see flames from the sides.
Already found chunks of people online in communities who are into it. You know, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but me personally, I haven't enjoyed my time with it. Let me explain why, but
all of this looks absolutely horrible.
At least also break down the gist of what the game is. So
there's no damage, by the way. Look at this. He just shoots them.
At least also break down the gist of what
there's no damage, there's no anything. It's just, man, you had damage animations in games 20 years ago, okay?
The game is. So you create a character and jump into a large pirate world, kind of representing the Indian Ocean. It's got a good amount of size to it. It feels worthy of exploration. There's interesting islands. There's definitely kind of like some biome stuff going on. But before all that, you're dumped into the main pirate town or the first settlement, and you're introduced to the main crafting elements of the game. Basically, the core loop. Now, there are tons of quests to be found right around here, from kind of story-centric NPCs to people you can bribe for rumors to a job board you can walk up and take tasks from, a bounty board, and then even when you're sailing, you'll get clued into more mysteries and find treasure maps. It's all overwhelming at first, but also...
Doesn't seem overwhelming at all. Seems just kind of bad.
Really dull at the same time. To be completely honest with you guys, the first hour or two or even 3 of Skull and Bones nearly bored me to tears. Like talking to generic NPCs about how to get...
Yeah, that's what people have been saying a lot about this game. You just play it and you're kind of just playing it, and at one point you accidentally fall asleep, and that's kind of it. It's really generic. It's really boring. There are zero risks taken at all, and well, that's pretty much it.
Gather resources to craft these items, to then get this, to then craft that, and blah, blah, blah. Like, taking missions, sailing around just to collect more resources, all of it just felt so lifeless and almost cynical. Like, it's like the real-life equivalent of showing up for a job, and the foreman is like, here you go, do this, this is what you do, don't ask any questions.
That would be... You know how painful that would actually be in real life? Your hands would all be in blisters if you did that. That's crazy.
Like, I'm fine with crafting and grinding loops, but the game took no time to instill why anything matters, why anything is worth grinding for, why X is more valuable than Y. No, it literally was just like, hey, click on this. Okay, now click on that. Okay, now click on this. Good, right? Okay, it's just to get you.
Also, look at this. This is the classic Ubisoft stupidity. Where is it? Here? Look.
Why anything is worth grinding for.
Okay, look at this spot right here.
Or why X is more valuable than Y. No, it literally was just.
See? See the highlighted stuff. This is what Ubisoft and so many other game companies just constantly do. It annoys me to absolutely no end. They treat you like this brainless creature that needs everything highlighted. An X above that. Dude, I absolutely hated how Ubisoft does this crap. They're literally treating their audience when they do stuff like this like they don't have even a brain, okay? Everything is always highlighted so you don't miss anything, and everything is so simple and just one-dimensional. It's crazy. I hate it so much.
Just like, hey, click on this. Okay, now click on that. Okay, now click on this. Good, right? Okay, it's just to get you into the hamster wheel. Now, if I feel cynical here, yeah, I guess I am. But this is where the game is at its worst. You know, I got no sense of world, character, or place. My character that I created is just like this silent...
So, you find a shipwreck and you just loot it from afar, huh? That's cool. Said no one.
Mindless little avatar talking to NPCs that don't really seem to matter too much. There's a lot of presentation, and some of the quest givers do look visually great. There's cool music, but there's no agency to any storytelling or anything. There's some interesting stuff going on.
Wait, what? Okay, so I also hate this. Okay, see, so he picks up stuff, right?
There's cool music, but there's no agency to...
Yeah, he picks up stuff and then watch this.
To any...
Yeah, it shows you here what you got.
Storytelling.
Then it shows you manage loot, senpai.
Agency to any...
Look at that. Loot, manage loot again. For whatever reason. You're not even aiming at the general direction of the ship, right?
Storytelling.
Look, and then it shows you here what you acquired yet again. Dude, this is just so dumb. Whoever is making these interfaces like this just isn't even human. This is annoying. This is just infuriating.
Or anything. There's some interesting stuff going on with like the different factions behind the scenes, like including the native factions that you'll find out on the islands, but most of it just felt devoid of any life or any excitement, anything interesting. I didn't want to talk to any pirates because they were all just glorified vendors half.
This looks so generic and stupid. This was not actually exactly pirate life, by the way. You know, what the hell is this supposed to be? Are they shipwrecked?
Because they were all just glorified vendors half the time anyway. This is all harshened by the fact that, like, credit where credit is due, at least, the outposts, the islands and towns that you land on are full of detail and look really, really cool. The main pirate town you start off in, more than the rest, actually...
Oh, it is actually a shipwreck, huh?
...feels lively and...
Wait, what the hell is this, though? Huh? How did it... excuse me? How... What's going on here? I'm sorry. Are we sailing or are we driving ships now? What exactly is going on here?
Actually feels lively and cool, like a big, messy, shanty pirate city filled with grime and chaos, just like you'd hope. It's a weird contrast to some of the other islands and...
Can you even smoke cocaine in this game? Just asking.
Communities you'll stop at that are beautiful, great designs, sunken ships, haunted caves, beautiful villas, all that, but are like totally empty with maybe like a vendor and one quest giver guy standing
Hell is this?
around waiting for you. It feels like they're hoping a bunch of players will be milling about here and just filling out
Also, this looks horrible, just saying.
the world.
Wow.
I don't know. Anyway, none of this really matters. That's all menus and quests and crafting and inventory screens. What matters the most in this game, the crux of the gameplay, is the sailing and the ship battles. It's almost weirdly arcadey style.
I mean, yeah, he is correct. Sailing, ship battles matter a lot in a game like this, but you can't just throw away everything else. And so far, everything else that I have seen looks abysmal. It just looks sad. It looks unfinished. It looks like someone started an idea and just didn't finish it through. At least I hope that's the case. Because if this was the finished idea of someone, then, oh shit.
More than I expected. Arcadey meaning light, fast, fun.
Wait, did we just see the cannon not even fire from where it's supposed to be fired?
Weirdly arcadey style. More
Okay, let's look at this cannon right here.
than I expected.
Yeah. Yeah, well, technically... I mean, technically it makes sense because the ship's moving forward, right? But this feels like it's just fighting from... kill me.
Arcadey meaning light, fast.
Oh, wow. The second one completely did not shoot from the right place, though.
Arcadey meaning...
Okay. Also, that was an instant. The fuses don't go off instantaneously, but that's okay. Yeah, the second... bruh, this looks so bad.
Light, fast, fun, and not realistic. Even with some...
Also, by the way, there's not a plume of smoke left after you fire the cannon. That's also a thing. Yeah, this is not real life. You see this plume? Well, it's not a plume. This is a jet trail. You see this jet trail? Yeah, doesn't actually exist. There's just the smoke at the start, and this doesn't exist. This is meant... I think they kept this in because to symbolize where the cannonballs actually land, so you can aim more accordingly. But you can already do that from you know that you hit the target or not. You know, so yeah, this looks awkward because this is not real life. Yeah, the smoke just would come from a cannon would just come out the battle at the start, and that's pretty much it. And it wouldn't even be actually that much smoke. It would be more just muzzle flare technically than smoke, I guess. Maybe you can actually make them smoky a lot, I don't know. But this is awkward.
And not realistic. Even with some of the larger ships, Skull and Bones does play very slick, with everything being pretty responsive and easy to use and accessible. Now, like, if you've played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I'm trying to be fair...
Also, the smoke doesn't seem to have any interaction, any physics interaction with the ship, which is horrible.
By not comparing the game to this, the whole video, I haven't brought it up yet, but for, like, explanation's sake, think of the ship stuff here kind of like a dumbed-down version of Black Flag, and faster and more action-oriented. And it can be a good bit of fun. Sailing around is managed by kicking up a couple of speed notches, and you have crew stamina to manage if you want to go really fast, and then you can get like items and things that kind of help with that.
Oh, they have the
along with
effect,
that, the wind is something constantly changing here, like near constantly something that you have to worry about and work with and manage more actively than something like in Black Flag or Rogue. There's an easily swappable wide third-person view, a cockpit first-person view from behind the wheel of the ship, and a crow's nest view, which is actually really fun to use, sometimes like when you're scouting for far-off ships. It's very easy to get quickly back into that sailing vibe. You know, you got the sea shanties, you got a cool view, the fog's rolling in or a sun is setting, some birds are...
Yeah, how the hell did they do this?
Following your ship. It can be gorgeous and kind of like chill to just sail around and hear, what can we do with a drunken sailor? Like, I've been there before in other games. And
also, it's cool that the ship is actually giant, but you know.
It gets me every time. Pirate stuff is just cool, and it does work here. And combat itself is flashy and kind of fast. Now, drawn out battles can take a while with the big ships, yeah, but it still just feels brisk because aiming, steering, everything is just zippy and responsive. Ships have weak points you can usually target, and you can even use cool little
Yeah, you can't even shoot in that direction. Oh, Lord.
tactics like taking out a ship's sail.
Yeah, I mean, that's just... Is this supposed to be immersive?
To slow them down. Also, there's just a cool variety of weapons and cannons and stuff. Some of them are video gamey and a little ridiculous. Like, this is not the most realistic pirate simulator or anything like that. I said it's arcadey.
I mean, it's barely anything at all. Like, there's so many problems. Look at this. The smoke's just going through the ship. It's just... That has not been... Well, actually, no, it's Ubisoft. They probably tried really hard. The problem with Ubisoft is they're a bunch of woke loser cucks at this point. They can't do anything well. All of their talent is considered brain damaged in the real world.
But there are good, satisfying shots and explosions and visual effects like spark and smoke. Damage to other ships doesn't always come off very impressive, though. Like, there is damage, but the impacts aren't always as visually satisfying. And bracing for impact just feels kind of soft. Like, you can do it, you can hold a button.
And then it's a transition. Okay.
See the enemies preparing to fire.
Boarding complete. That's it? That's it? You just board and it's over?
Upon you, but it just doesn't feel...
Okay, yeah, so you just board it. Yeah, so you do that and it's just over. Okay, so there's literally no gameplay, huh?
Still as good as it does in other games. Even still with all this, I was surprised how much I like the combat. From smaller ships to medium ships, I was sailing through the seas, targeting and massacring other ships, and just pillaging. And then the drawn-out ship battles with bigger enemies like the wanted bounty targets are pretty cool, surprising, and actually really challenging. I got my ass kicked, and it was good. Dropping stuff, setting stuff on fire, launching mortars, using long guns, short-range, big explosive shots. I had a lot of fun with the weaponry, and the combat was good enough that I finally started to care about crafting a bit because I wanted more ship armor and better cannons. Unfortunately, there's no boarding whatsoever. Like, there's like a little mini game where you throw hooks to try and get onto the ship to nail that boarding, and it's finicky and kind of annoying, but then when you get it, you just get a quick cutscene of people boarding, and then you get bonuses. That's it. So many things in this game are relegated to just clicking on something and then something happening, where in many other games, you would actually be able to participate in that. You're not parking your ship. You're not launching your ship. You're not boarding enemy ships. It's all just kind of things that just automatically happen for you and just gives you loots and splash screens. I will say
the typical Ubisoft play, though. That's what I would call it.
Customization is decent. My one negative, though, the biggest omission is crew customization. You can change their overall looks, but you can't pick your crew or really tweak anything. From what I could see, you also can't customize your first mate who's by your side, who I got sick of after a while, but like everything else, the ship sails, the ship logos, ship paint, body type, the sail paint, crow's nest
That's DLC, my boy.
decorations, you know, decorative stuff on the front, all of that.
Expensive DLC, by the way.
I think is really fairly detailed, and I think it's going to be enough for people who want to customize their ships. Of course, this all comes with a...
Wait, how many women are on this ship? One?
Who want to
two?
Customize their ships.
We saw one at the crow's nest. Man, that's a lot of women on a ship.
Of course, this all...
There's a reason, by the way, dude, I understand Ubisoft loves being woke and whatnot, but there's a reason there were not a lot of pirate women, okay? Because they literally died from hygiene problems. Okay? I know that's kind of, I mean, you know, fuck realism and whatnot, Ubisoft, but come on.
All comes with a...
You know what would happen with so many females on a ship? They would just get odd. That's what would happen. They're pirates, okay? They don't exactly have great moral compasses.
Paid cash shop where the game gives you plenty of options to spend additional money after buying this $70+ game, which I'm never the biggest fan of. There's no pay to win from here, it seems. Like, you can't buy more powerful weapons or anything. It's just cosmetics, but yeah. Now, other player interaction is pretty simple. Out on the sea...
Bro, the loot is even bad, by the way. Like, look at this. Look at the loot, what he got from that. Repair kit, cannonballs, fine jute, and a cogwheel. Why not just planks and cannonballs and, you know, reasonable shit?
Medics, but yeah. Now, other player interaction is pretty simple. Out on the sea, it's nice to have someone blasting away with you, taking down some fleets or a big ship, but anywhere else, I couldn't really be bothered. Social features on the ground, I didn't really find much of note, really. I think a lot of that comes with the on-foot stuff just not being great at all. Like I said earlier, it felt devoid of soul and life, anything really interesting to it, and that's from a gameplay perspective too. You can kind of run around all like floaty-like and just do emotes. Like occasionally maybe you'll climb a rope or a ladder. That's it. Have fun with that. When I'm looking for a pirate game, if it's ship or boat focused, sure, fair enough. But when you let me park my ship and tease me with being able to run around and customize my pirate up the wazoo, you bet your ass I want to be doing more than just clicking on craft.
Also, the graphics. I mean, it's an Ubisoft game, okay? They're the same tier of graphics as Bethesda at this point, but still.
Recipes. This is extremely disappointing. I want to do more on foot. Now, I know Ubisoft was upfront about there being no on-foot combat or adventuring or anything. Like, they were transparent there. I knew what I was getting into, but, like, even knowing that and accepting that, I still just can't shake the feeling like that there's a big piece of the pie missing here. There's a big, beautiful world here. Some detail and some really fun ship blasting and customizing and, you know, village raiding and pillaging and stuff. But I can't speak to high-level play, though. This is really just first impression.
Village raiding is essentially the same as pillaging, by the way.
I can't really judge the end game or just some balancing issues I've seen heavily discussed and some
I'm pretty sure the only real difference between raiding and pillaging is that in pillaging you kind of just like destroy shit. Raiding is you just take shit. But pillaging is you kill people and destroy everything. Raiding is you maybe, well, you kill people, but you don't necessarily destroy everything. I think that's the difference.
Valid complaints raised on the subreddit, so be aware of that. But like, I haven't really seen too much of that or can't talk about that too much because the base game,
The Reddit response to this game is also pretty good. It's actually one of those rare times Reddit is right, and, well, Reddit just said game bad. That the PvP is just people teleporting on top of you and literally just insta-gifting you. It's pretty hilarious.
I didn't really find interesting enough to push through. This
oh,
isn't
dolphins!
Like
look at that. No one
game
cares.
Or anything, and it will have some player base, but as you can tell, it's not for me. Still, I think it can get better over time. Now, I'm really tired of saying this about modern games. I feel like I say it with every video, but it doesn't make it any less true here. I mean, I wasn't crazy about Sea of Thieves at launch. I found it cool, but lacking in a lot of spots. Now, Sea of Thieves kicks ass. Maybe the same will be for...
I mean, I don't think this game can do the same, okay? I really don't. This is just another Starfield scenario.
Skull and Bones, scratching a different itch for people looking for a different type of pirate game. I don't know. That's the optimist in me. I can't help myself. But for anyone less than super hyped about this release, I can't really recommend it right now, especially not for full price. Maybe if you're into pirates, keep an eye on it long term, but for now, that's where I'm at with first impressions.
The explosion's at least not bad, right?
Before you buy, you know how this goes. I give you some pros, some...
Anyway, that was game ranks. 10 out of 10. Yeah, Skull and Bones is just... I don't think it's redeemable at this point, honestly. It just looks so bad at every aspect. Anyway, this was Quizzer saying thanks for watching, subscribe, have already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.